Good morning, student. This is Praneeth, and let's begin chapter Law Spring, part second. Okay, so let's resume. It is his karam, his destiny, says Mukesh's grandmother, who has watched her own husband go blind with the dust from polishing the glass of bangles. So Mukesh's grandmother also believes that it is because of their bad luck that they are destined to do this kind of work of bangle making. Can a God-given lineage ever be broken? She further says that the God-given lineage, whatever is written in the luck lines, it can never be changed. Born in the caste of bangle maker, they have seen nothing but bangles. Because they are born in a bangle making caste kind of people, so they have nothing but only single option to do the job, and it is the bangle making. In the house, in the yard, in every other house, they see nothing but only bangles all around. Every other yard, every street in Firozabad, a spiral of bangles can be seen. Now the colors of the bangles are there given: sunny gold, paddy green, royal blue, pink, purple. Every color born out means extracted out of the 7 colors of the rainbow. So it is about the colors, which is given the variety of the colors there. Lie in the mounds in unkempt yards, in a unfurnished yards, like a mound, like a big heap, like a pile. The bangles are gathered around there. Every platform, every year, every yard, every space, everywhere are piled on 4-wheel handcarts. Sometimes they are piled on or the heaped on the 4-wheel handcarts, pushed by young men along the narrow lanes of the shanty town. And there are a lot of young men who push away or push along the 4-wheel handcarts on which they sell the bangles and so on. And in dark hutments next to the lines of flames of flickering oil lamps, boys and girls sit with their father and mother, welding pieces of colored glasses into circle of bangles. And also at every platform nearby the houses, there are a lot of families who are also engaged in bangle making. They sometimes weld the pieces of glass in order to make it in a circular form. Their eyes are more adjusted to the dark than to the light. The people who are engaged in a job of fun in the work of bangle making, their eyes have become so more adjusted in the dark rather than light. That is why they often end up losing their eyesight. So because of overburden on their eyes, as they are working in the dark, their eyes started to lose their sight before they become adults. So before becoming adult, their eyes started to lose their sight. Now let's talk about another girl whose name is Savita. She also belonged to those family of bangle makers. Savita, young girl in a drab mean and a dull pink dress, sits alongside sits nearby an elderly woman soldering pieces of glass, fabricating the pieces of glass, designing the pieces of glass, as her hands move mechanically like the tongs of a machine. Her hands are so expert, her fingers are so expert, like they are moving mechanically as if a tongue moves in a machine. I wonder if she knows the sanctity of the bangle she helped make. Anish Jung thinks about the girl's perspective or girl's mindset about the bangle. Does she know how valuable or what is the value and sanctity of the bangle that she is helping to make? It symbolizes an Indian women's suhag. Actually, what is the symbol of bangle? So she further says that it is the symbol of women's husband, auspiciousness in marriages. So it brings good omens and positive vibes in the marriages. It will dawn on her suddenly one day. She also thinks about the girl Savita, who is making the bangles. She thinks that one day she herself will be a bride, and her face will be covered in a red veil. Her hands will be dyeing with a red henna, and red bangles rolled onto her wrist. So in that way she also will become a bride. She will then become a bride like the old woman beside her who became many years ago. She still has bangles on her wrist but no light in her eyes. The girl still has, there's a woman who still has bangles on her wrist but no light in her eyes. She further says a Hindi statement is given there. Ek waqt ser bhar khana bhi nahi khaya, she says. So there is a lady, she is an old lady. She is saying that we are so poor, so pitiable that we have not even got one full meal. Her voice when she speaks loses all the joy, all the energy. She has not enjoyed even one full meal in her entire lifetime. That is what she has read. This is only thing that the old lady has got. Her husband, an old man with a flowing beard, says, I know nothing except bangles. All I have done is make a house for the family to live in. So Savita, she is making Bangles, the old lady, the sitting there, she says that we have no food, we are only alone, and we are just surviving anyhow. And the husband of mine, he has done nothing but only make a house. He has made a house the family to live in. When hear him, anyone will be wondered. He has achieved what many have failed in their life. At least the husband of that lady has become successful in making that kind of thing which many have been failed in their lifetime. He has a roof over his head. At least this man has a roof over his head. This family has a roof over their head. The cry of not having money to do anything except carry on the business of making bangle, not even enough to eat, rings in every home. So this cry that they are not having any other alternative to do the job, this cry rings in every home, except to the cry that they have no option to do anything except bangle making, rings in every home, and they have no options furthermore about that. And this money that they got after the bangle making, it is not even enough sufficient to fulfill their basic needs even. Not even enough to eat, rings in every home. So young men echo the lament of their elders. So young generation also amplifies the pain, the lamentation of elders. Little has moved with time, it seems, and it seems that nothing has been changed in the life of these people in Firozabad. Years of mind-numbing toil have killed all initiative and the ability to dream. For many years they have done the hard work, the toil, which is a mind-numbing, which can even neutral the mind, which can even just make the mind completely numb. Such kind of toil and hard work they have done, but it has drained all the ability to dream. So this is the status of the people who are there working in Firozabad. Anis Jung further says, why not organize yourself into a cooperative? I ask a group of women or young men who have fallen into the vicious circle of middlemen who trap their fathers and forefathers. Anis Jung was talking and interacting with a group of young men whom she advises, why don't you make a union? Why can't you make your organization? Why can't you make your cooperative so that you will be unite? In your union, you will be having a voice, a say to speak about your basic rights, fundamental rights, and so on. Even if we get organized, so one of those people say that if we are going to be organized, we are the ones who will be hauled up by the police. Hauled up mean arrested by the police, beaten and dragged to jail for doing something illegal. Only if we try to union ourselves, only in that case police will treat us as if we are criminals and they will drag us into jail. There is no leader among them, no one who could help them to see things differently. There is no leader among them, there is no one who can help them to see things with a different perspective. Their fathers are as tired as they are. Their fathers are tired, they are tired. They talk endlessly in a spiral that move from poverty to apathy to greed and to injustice. So they are living so their condition is so poor that they move from poverty to apathy. Apathy is a kind of aloofness, neutrality. So they have a life of poverty that leads them to apathy. Then there goes to greed and to injustice. So their life has been completely encircled by these negativities. They have poverty, they have aloofness from the authorities, they are the prey to greedy people, and they are also living a life of injustice. Listening to them, I see two distinct worlds. One of the family caught in a web of poverty, burdened by the stigma of caste in which they are born. The other a vicious circle of the sahukars, middlemen, policemen, keepers of law, bureaucrats, politicians. So Anis Jung further says that when I listened and interacted the people of Firozabad, I just got that there are two distinct different worlds are there surviving in Firozabad. One world is a world of poor people, laborers, bangle makers who are doing the bangle job or bangle making labor job because of they are suppressed by the caste, and another is a group of people who are rich, who are middlemen, who are policemen, who are authoritarian, who are bureaucrats, and because of that these people have imposed the burden on the child that he cannot even put down. So there are two distinct worlds. Anis Jung says one is of poor people and another of rich people. Another world is about the middlemen, sahukars, and they have made actually a vicious circle, a filthy circle, a dirty circle, or you can say a cruel circle, which is entrap all their energy and vitality to do something new. Together they have imposed a baggage on the child that he cannot put down. Before he is aware, he accepts it as naturally as his father. So child, when he is a child, he does not even have the awareness that he has been badly exploited. And when he become adult, when he knows that he is actually being exploited, that time he becomes so adult that naturally he started to go habitual of that. To do anything else would mean to dare, and if he's trying to do something, anything new, it will be like he's trying to do dare. And daring is not the part of his growing up, and daring means courage is not the part of his growing up. When I sense a flash of it in Mukesh, I am cheered. And when I sense a flash of it in Mukesh, I am cheered. Sense a flash of it means when I saw a new spark of something, doing something new, a spark of doing something new in Mukesh, I am cheered. Anis Jung further says, I want to be a motor mechanic. Again he repeats. He will go to a garage and learn. He further says that if there is a no garage around me, I will go there. But the garage is a long way from his home. But garage is a way long. So he says that I will walk. So his determination is very strong to go and to learn. He insists, he forcibly says. Do you also dream of flying a plane? When Anis Jung further says, do you also have a big dream of flying a plane? He's suddenly silent. So suddenly he becomes silent. He says, no. He's staring at the ground. Now he is constantly looking in the ground. In his small murmur, there is an embarrassment. So he is feeling a kind of humiliation, embarrassment, shyness that has not yet turned into regret. But this embarrassment should not be the reaction of this boy. One day he will have a regret for this. After all, there is no charge for having a big dream. And if you can dream big, only then there is a one step that you can reach there. So he is content to dream of car that he sees hurtling round down the streets of his town. So he is only contented. He is only having a range of his dream. He is so poor that he can only be a dreamer of driver and so on, being a driver or the car driver, not a pilot. Few airplanes will fly over Firozabad, but one day few aeroplanes fly over Firozabad. Possibly few aeroplanes are there that fly, so that's why inspiration amount is also less there, and because of that we can also consider that not more aeroplanes are there. Few mean almost nominal aeroplanes fly over there, and that's why possibly he has no dream of flying aeroplane. There may be some other variant of explanation. One is that they are so poor that they have only the range of being driver, they are limited with that. And another is that actually aeroplanes are not there. Otherwise, if they were there, possibly he could be more spark to become a pilot. So here ends the situation, the chapter of this Law Spring, that is talking elaborately about the poor condition and status of the people living in Firozabad. Now there are the question. I have already sent the PDF in group of Telegram and so on. What could be some of the reason for the migration of people from village to cities? You have to find out the questions. Would you agree that promises made to poor children are rarely kept? Why do you think this happened in incident narrated in the text? So you have to answer these questions. If you feel any complication, you can directly send me the message in my inbox, and you can directly WhatsApp is there. So there are a lot of modes of communication we have. So you can click on anyone as per your comfortability. What forces conspire to keep the workers in the Bengal industry of Firozabad in poverty? So these are some particular questions you have. If you are able to answer them, you have a fine understanding of the text. How, in your opinion, Mukesh realized his dream? So you have to answer this. Mention the hazards of working in the glass Bengal industry. Why should child labor be eliminated and how? You can also talk about, you can also give the constitutional laws and article numbers about the child labor. What are the prevention child labor? What are the laws which have been implemented in our country, which have been given in our constitution in order to avoid and shield the children from the child labor, everything. So you can also mention the articles and so on. Then there's a hyperbole, metaphor, simile. Okay, so I hope that it will have a normal glimpse of understanding for all of you. If you feel any complication, directly send me in my comment box. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.